In this course, you will build a cross-platform mobile app for Little Lemon, a family-owned Mediterranean restaurant based in Chicago. You will use React Native to build Little Lemon's mobile app. Customers can use this app to learn more about Little Lemon, their menu, and contact the owners. In this journey, you will learn the basics of React Native and use that to build the restaurant's mobile app. Adrian, one of the co-owners of Little Lemon, wants a mobile app for the restaurant. He would like you to work on this project, and you just heard about React Native and its benefits. But you want to make sure it is the right tool for what Adrian wants to do. So, let's start exploring React Native. In this video, you will learn what React Native is and what the motivation is for using it. React Native is an open-source JavaScript library based on React that is used to build cross-platform native mobile apps. React Native was first created by Meta and was used to build part of the Facebook mobile app. Soon it was made open source, meaning that it can be modified by the developer community. React Native is truly a cross-platform mobile library with which you can build native iOS, Android, Windows, and TV apps using JavaScript and React. To add to all these benefits, there's a huge set of components built into React Native. These components include text input, which is used to add a text input box, and style sheet, which serves as a container for styles. This means that you, as a developer, can use these components, which are essentially like building blocks, put them together, and create a mobile app. With React Native, you can create truly native apps using JavaScript and React. But what does that mean? When an application or software is native, it's written for the computer's natural operating system, or OS. For example, a video game can be run natively on a particular game console because it was designed for that specific device and OS. Native-run applications and native code typically perform better and faster because they were created to suit their particular platforms. Normally, you would need to write separate code to make an app fully compatible across different devices. However, React Native has a special trick. It enables you to render applications natively. In other words, your application will use the same programming platform as a native application, despite not being specially created for that device. React Native is written in JavaScript, but renders or generates native code. So, although the code is in JavaScript, it renders to work with the device's processor. Isn't that cool? Traditionally, to build native iOS apps, you need to be proficient in programming languages like Objective-C or Swift. Similarly, to build native Android apps, you need to know Java or Kotlin. These programming languages are used to build the respective native apps on iOS and Android. In this scenario, you have different code bases for Android and iOS apps, and potentially have different teams working on them. But with React Native, you don't need to be proficient with Swift, Objective-C, Java, or Kotlin to develop mobile apps. Instead, you need to know JavaScript, React, and the basics of HTML and CSS to get started. This is because React components wrap the existing native mobile code and interact with native APIs. Recall that an API, or Application Programming Interface, is a means for two programs to interact, and in this case, that happens through JavaScript. All the development is in one code base, but across multiple platforms. So what does that mean? It means seamless cross-platform native apps for both iOS and Android. So, once you learn React Native, you are essentially a cross-platform mobile developer, and you can code both iOS and Android apps with ease. Today, React Native has extended beyond iOS and Android, and can also be used to build Windows apps and TV apps. Okay, so now you know the basics of what React Native is, let's explore some sample code to build a basic cross-platform mobile app that outputs a welcome message. Notice that the code is very similar to React code. However, instead of web components such as the division or paragraph tags used in HTML, React Native uses something called native mobile components, such as text and view. Don't worry if you don't know about these components now. You will learn more about them later. The code defines a React component called Welcome App. This component renders a text that says, "Welcome to React Native." The text is rendered using the inbuilt component text, and all of this is wrapped within the view component, which is like a div tag in HTML. Notice before text and view can be utilized, you need to write an import statement to extract each of them from the originating package, which is React Native in this case. Finally, there is some styling for the view component to ensure that the text is centered. When rendered, the code renders the text "Welcome to React Native" on both native Android and native iOS devices. One code base is shared between two platforms. In this video, you learned that React Native is a JavaScript library based on React that can be used to build cross-platform native apps, which include iOS and Android. You also learned about the motivation behind using React Native, as it allows you to build multiple apps using a single code base. Hopefully, this information will help you decide about using React Native to build the Little Lemon app.